Hello, FPB, and all the poets and blossoms out there, and to all our viewers worldwide. Welcome to our blossoming show, the MEBS, the Mother Eagle Blossom Show. A pleasant good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this world. Today's guest hails from Virginia in the United States. She works as a nurse practitioner by day and poet by night, which she recently rekindled and has been writing with fervor. 40-year nursing career has aided her in some of her pieces, which include the subject of domestic violence and all aspects of crime and violence. She cared for hundreds of victims of crime and violence, having worked as a forensic nurse examiner for 15 years. In the Facebook poetry community, she has received numerous accolades and awards, including featured poet of the day, a poet of the month, honored twice for Poet of the Year 2020, and several poems published on online poetry sites. She has received numerous professional critics and has taken part and contributed to several anthologies. Her debut book of poetry is comprised of over 110 poems. She has also co-authored poems in Ted Huntington's book, Uplifting. Two Hearts, a poetry collection, is a book co-authored with Sarfraz Ahmed. She has written the foreword and poems for the anthology Feminist Voices, Volume 2, dedicated to domestic violence victims. Through Sparrow poetry videos have been created to highlight her poetry which she has recited. A playlist can be found on YouTube. She also lends her voice for other poets' recitations. She is also the founder and administrator of the Passion of Poetry Facebook site with over 14,000 members in a brief span of time. Fall of 2020 and spring of 2021, she was featured and published in Bangladeshi newspaper magazine multiple times. She and her team in the pop had been featured also in the Blossoms Journal International magazine here in the Philippines. In December 2020, serving as a moderator of Europe America English Poetry Reading Online Forum event presented by Progressive Literary and Cultural Society. She has also been featured in several live interviews and numerous international poetry web events. Her poetry is known internationally. Upcoming projects, she will be publishing Ink with Passion, the Passion of Poetry's debut anthology, which features over 120 poets from around the globe and is slated for January 2022. She will also be compiling another solo poetry book and is looking to publish in 2022. In 2022, she has also just started working on a novel based on her poem, The Ballad of Ned, which addresses the subject of bullying. Also in the works and will be ready to be launched in December 2021. Popstar Poetry, a standalone site affiliated with the Passion of Poetry. She and select administrative team members will be publishing stellar poetic works from pop members. This very moment, we have a mega, a diva, beautiful, intelligent, kind, and lovely, our beloved founder of the Passion of Poetry, Miss Annette Tarpley. How are you?
I am good, Miss Beautiful Helen. How are you, darling? You
I'm
look
great.
lovely this evening as always.
And you
So,
look fabulous, my
and
goodness.
I'm wearing my glasses to honor you, so I look more intellectual.
You look elegant. You look elegant.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So you look
So
marvelous, darling.
I'm so happy that you're here, and I'm sorry for last night.
Oh, no, it's my pleasure entirely. And I totally get that because we both work very hard and kind of burn the candle at both ends. So I totally understand. So no
Yeah.
problem. No problem.
So let's start. Actually, Annette, I am immensely admire your dedication to women's violence victims and other crimes that you integrate into your poetry. How awesome is that? What made you decide on that? And how did it start that you want to write poems about it?
Well, as you know, I was a forensic nurse examiner for 15 years, and so I took care of many domestic violence victims. But also as a child, I witnessed it. So it's something that I witnessed as a child between my mother and my stepfather, who at the time had alcoholic issues, and they later overcame them. But so it's been something that I feel very strongly about. And I think that if women aren't physically abused, many women are emotionally and psychologically abused by spouses or significant others, and I think that most women can relate to it at at some point. And it's and I worry about, of course, the victims, the true victims, which are the children who witness it, and hope that they, because very often the pattern repeats itself,
That's true.
and they emulate those things later on. So yeah,
Actually,
so
women
I'm
who
a
are, yeah,
very strong proponent for that, very strong proponent for women and feminism and women who are strong and things like that, just like I think you are as well. So yeah.
because women who are victims of that, they don't have voice. They don't have actually voice. They can't voice it out. So through you and through other people who are helping to voice them out, it's very good. That
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that they don't have voice and they don't have power, and very often that's taken away from them. And men, that's one way that they control them, of course, is by not allowing them to have any power control, and so they control them very. I remember a woman years ago, saying that she wanted to leave her situation, but she couldn't leave it um, the because the man had the power and control. She had no money power.
yes,
She didn't, she couldn't live on her own because she didn't have a job. He didn't allow her to have a job. And so I think that those things are hard. I've heard many, you know, stories over the years, of domestic violence, and uh, some of them are quite horrific. I don't know that I share a lot of the individual ones, but there's just been so many through the years. Yeah.
yeah. So that is feminist.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that women need to be empowered. One thing that my father taught me as a child, and I'm very blessed that he taught it to me because I've had two failed marriages, but it was to be a very strong person, and very not dependent upon men for being able to make it out in the world. And so I chose a career, thankfully, that could support me, and I was always pretty much the breadwinner in the family anyway. So strong career that could help me do that. And so I didn't feel threatened in a situation that was not good where I needed to leave. So that was empowering, actually, to have that.
Because sometimes God uses us as an instrument.
Yeah. Yes, he uses us as instruments all the time. I feel that all the time. I'm sure you do as well. You
Yeah.
know, sometimes
I feel
you hear
so.
that little voice that speaks to you to tells you to do something, you know,
Yes.
and you do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we only need to be thankful that we are used, um, because we became an avenue to have the voices heard to the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's a good
Exactly.
feeling. Yes.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, it it certainly is. And you know, I just love women anyway. So I mean, I love men, of course, too, but but women, especially when we can, you know, come together and unite and support each other, it's, you know, a wonderful thing. And so I think there's a lot of empowerment and we as women, you know, when we can come together and support each other. So it's always near and very endearing to me. So
So that's it. So as a medical practitioner, I understand you have a tender care for the victims of violence, and you don't only care, but your heart goes out for them with the fullest of your love. What are what are the impacts it gives to your life?
Um, well, it's very rewarding and fulfilling, I think, when you're able to help someone. I don't, you know, it's been many years since I've taken care of victims of crimes and violence as a forensic nurse examiner. As a nurse practitioner, I do general medicine. I'm board certified in family medicine, but I've also done some psychiatry, which I'm currently doing now, but in other in actually not in private practice anymore, but in long-term care facilities. And I think that the biggest impact I'm making currently is touching people's lives that are in nursing homes, which are a very lonely place, you know. They go very long periods of time without seeing loved ones or friends. You know, recently I met two men who were both married and they haven't seen their wives in like over a year. Like their wives don't care to visit them. And it's just, you know, sad and tragic. So I actually share my poetry sometimes when I go in the nursing homes. If I feel like something will speak to somebody, you know, they might tell me about something, so I might, um, you know, recite something that I think will touch them in some way. And they really actually appreciate it because I mean they sit there all day, they don't do anything. I have one nursing home actually that um, I'm trying to think of when I'm supposed to go there because I might have had to have gone there recently, but I have another nursing home that has me go in there and recites to their residents on their activity day, you know, their activities, and they'll have me come in there and recite. So that's fun. They enjoy that. So yeah.
Okay, can you share us a poem with about your domestic violence and crimes? Do you
Oh,
have poems like that, right?
yes, I do. I have so many that
Yeah, because it's in the book. You
I do.
co-authored that.
I have some in the book. I do have some in the book. I have my books.
Wow.
Let me see. Probably, let me look in the
How many
index
pages
because
is
you
that? I
know
think it's
we
thick.
have a very yes, we have strength and confidence and um okay. So there's one called The Pillow that I think is a good one. And we can do that one. So let me go to that real quick. I'll go to The Pillow and that's on 118. 119 and two hearts, the pillow.
Oh, I only have 50 pages in my book.
This one actually was the one Surprise and I did. It has 228, it looks like.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is called The Pillow. The pillow muffled her screams, absorbing tears pouring down in streams. Years of abuse had been too much. Striking her, she yearned for a gentle touch. The pillow, a silent witness to what she went through, her only ally, it suffered the cruelest view, an odd sort of friend, but it knew all of her secrets. It knew all of her strengths. She clung to it when weakest. She would whisper to it at night when in great angst. She would lay on it and pray that for her life she gave thanks. The pillow would comfort her, cradling her head at night. She whispered she would take it when she finally took flight. One dark night, an opportunity landed in its way. Drunk, he came home and he started to sway. He passed out on the floor where he had fallen down. She grabbed her clothes. Her steps hastening to the ground. She turned to the door, then her pillow she remembered. They fled, giving thanks that dark, chilly November. So that is the pillow. Now, having said that, I wrote actually one. It's a short one this week.
Just
That
newly?
is, yeah,
Just
yeah,
recently?
just
Okay. Not yet in the
yeah,
book
just
yet.
yeah, just this week. It was my battery is dying. So it's called. Trying to find it. Maybe I don't have it in here. I don't think that's it either. I might not have put it in
It's not
my.
published yet because
Well,
it's
yeah, it's
recently.
online, but it's just not.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So now I'm not finding it. I do all kinds of little. Yeah. So I'm sitting here trying to look for it. I can't find it. So much for that. But if I really wanted to, I could search for it, but we won't do that right now. So, is there
Okay,
anything
just
else
take
you
your
would like
time.
to?
Just take your time. You can read another
Well,
one.
yeah, I actually what I need to do is go into my Facebook site and then I'll find it because
Okay.
then it has the pictures.
I told you
I
that we both have no preparation, so it's gonna
yeah,
be like this.
I had one that I wrote that was very romantic the other day, and then I have this other gnarled hands. But this is what this is. No, that's about. Um, oh, the next time around.
Yeah.
The next time around, it's called. The next time around, there will be no second chance. She was aware of the game she had danced the last dance. The next time around, she would ask for a redeal. The house was the winner. There would be no appeal. The next time around, she would not waste time. She was the source of his banter, the riddle in his rhyme. The next time around, his liquor she would withhold. It made him arrogant, his words hateful and bold. The next time around, she would not believe his lies. Older and stronger now, she was sage and wise. The next time around, she would not cater to him. She would ignore his requests and flippant whims. The next time around, she would not initiate affection. She had grown stone cold from lack of attention and rejection. The next time around, she would blatantly see that this life was not about him, it is about mine and me. The next time around, she would open that locked door. Freedom she would seek. His captive, she was no more.
That's beautiful.
See?
It's full of experience. The next
Yeah,
time around, because maybe she had experienced a lot of things that he learned from it. So the next time
definitely.
around, that's her voice. That's her promise to herself.
Yeah, yeah. It is. It's a promise to herself, and that she finally, was able to have enough self-determination, awareness where she wanted to leave it.
Yes, I love
So,
that. I love your
I was going
wisdom.
to tell you earlier, it came to my mind with domestic violence. I think the average, at least in the US, of times that women are abused before they leave the situation is like something like 7 or 8 times. I tend to think in some situations it's probably higher, but
But
Yeah.
Annette, I also love your sweet poems. I remember you when you recited during our Valentine's event. It's so sweet. It sounds like a cadence of soul. Have you prepared a love poem? Can you read that for us so that it can be heard by the world?
I will. I wrote this one just the other day, a day or two ago. And again, I'm going to refer back to my Facebook site because apparently that's my source tonight. So this one is called Somewhere in Time. There's actually a movie called Somewhere in Time that's one of my favorite romantic movies. But
Okay.
this is how it goes. Somewhere in time, there existed a moment we would meet, that perfect match for each other, but the tale is bittersweet. Perhaps we saw each other at a dance, embraced in another's arms. Our eyes would meet for a moment, lost in each other's charms. Years go by, we fell in love with a betrothed that would suffice, knowing somewhere in time our love was sacrificed. Oh, my darling, can you hear the whisper of my heart? It longs and yearns for the other half that never had a start. Children came along and were birthed, yet empty remained my womb. There would never be a part of us that would grow, thrive, and bloom. I long for you and search for you in the crowded streets to find. As years went by and seasons changed, you were always on my mind. Do I linger on your mind as the purest love you ever knew? Do you know the depth of this love is seldom felt by few? On my dying day, my darling, I will wait for you somewhere in time. Then we will soar to the heavens together. How simply divine.
Now it's full of dreams. You are
Yeah,
simply, sweet and romantic. Just
I
wonderful.
live vicariously through my poetry. So
I
yeah,
love that. I am a fan of your, sweet poetry, love poetry, because it's like a ballad. It's like sweet song to our ears.
yeah. I wrote one. I did the Ballad of Ned, which I've recited many times. But I wrote one the other day. I don't know if you saw it, and I
Is there
really like it. Huh? I really like it a lot. It's another
yeah.
story, and
So
it's another story, but I don't think people picked up on it. It did get critiqued by Saijo Joseph. He critiqued it and did a very lovely job on it. But it's this important message and story again. And
yeah, because when we write love poetry, it's some kind of helping us to rejuvenate. Do you believe in that?
yeah, now this one isn't a love poetry. This one is kind of a lesson again. I do a lot of lessons, and it's called The Legend of Jack. Did you see that one? I
Yeah.
don't know if you saw it. Can I
I
read
also
it?
love writing love poetry, and
Stories?
also I also love writing love poetry and also inspirational. That's my
Yes.
favorite topic.
Yeah. Yeah. I like writing. I did one the other day for my children. So
Do you have the copy? Do you have a copy of that?
yes, I do.
Can you please read it?
Yeah. Yeah. So I wrote, the thing is my children never commented, and that's usually how that goes. So
Because
I
would
don't know
like
how
to.
your children are or about your poetry, but this is how I envision it someday after I'm gone. They're going to say, "Oh my gosh, Mom had some really great poems. Did you read this?" You know, then they'll appreciate it. But this is for my children. It's
Okay.
for my children. For my children, I leave you pearls of wisdom filled with much knowledge. Life gives us lessons, a degree that cannot be obtained in a university or college. Kindness is something we freely give, and in turn, others will be kind to us. Sometimes it's hard to believe in others, give them a chance, honor, and trust. When the road is rocky and blockades stand in the way, There is always a detour. The past was yesterday, learn from it, for a new day will dawn in the future. Lessons you have learned along the way will serve you well. Reflect and take heed. Your mind and flesh may want for much, but be frugal and desire what you need. Hold steadfast to the values from your youth. They will serve you well in time. Cherish precious childhood memories. In later years, you will find them sublime. Remember the family holds the roots. Nourish it. Your tree will flourish and grow. Time is a treasure we give to our children. Hug and kiss them. Your love they will know. Do not make promises you cannot keep. Trust can be broken, then can be broken, and hope is let down. Teach your children to trust in God. He is faithful. His guidance and love will abound. Do not let hate be an emotion that dwells, for it is toxic and will harm only you. Let love guide your path. Be the one only source in your life, and bestow it on many, not few. Someday, when I'm gone, reflect on the good, for I was but human and had many flaws. Always know in your hearts that you were my world. You gave my life meaning and cause.
That is kind of
Thank
poem that
you.
will stay there on their hearts forever.
Yeah, I'm hoping it will. Yeah, I hope that they know that I write those things from the heart and that, I truly mean them. But I think I actually tagged my daughter on it, and I don't think I don't even think she posted it to her site. So, like I said, someday maybe they'll appreciate my poetry.
They are very
Usually
proud of you for sure.
it's
Maybe
kind
they are
of
very proud of us. Oh, something wrong with the internet. I cannot. Uh,
That's nice.
okay, so that's it. So you have a new grandkid, right? Newly born.
Oh, I do. My daughter had one in August. She
Oh
had it
my
at
God,
home.
we have problem with connection. Okay, okay. Do you have a grandkid, right? Newly born.
I have five, and yes, my youngest was born in August. We finally had a granddaughter
Just
because
this
all these
August,
years,
meaning 3 months old, right?
yeah. And my daughter had birthed her at home. She was calling me in the morning and saying, "Mom, I think I need to go to
She's
the
getting
hospital. I'm having contractions 3 minutes apart." And then she called me 30 minutes later and said, "Mom, I just had the baby at home." So she didn't make it to the hospital.
Oh my goodness, that's family. So I'm just curious because you are into medical career. So are your children also into it? They are having medical career or inclined to love literature like you?
Neither. No,
No. Yeah, because
no.
I'm just asking because I'm not a nurse, but I have two nurses, two
Mhm.
children who are nurses. So,
I think probably me being in the medical career and them seeing me do everything over the years probably worked the opposite, where they didn't want to do it. So yeah, none of them desired to be in it. I thought for a moment, my youngest son, Joel, who's getting married this weekend, I thought he's only 22 years old, but him and his girlfriend have been going together since they were 14 years old. So they're finally getting married. But I thought he would go in the medical profession. He first thought about physical therapy, and then he switched it over to IT kind of stuff. So he graduated last spring, and then he actually works at the college he went to. He got a job there. So
so
yeah,
they are not following your step. I remember,
no.
Annette, how you intensely love your grandmother. She passed away when we were just newly friends, and it was during in the midst of our preparation for Uzbekistan festival last year. So
Yeah.
that was last year, right? What was your best memory of her?
Well, it was actually, and she passed in February of this year.
September?
She passed in February of 2021, so just this
Ah,
year.
late. I see.
Uh-huh.
Maybe
And
it's not
and
Uzbekistan. It's about Valentine's event.
yeah, yeah. But she yeah, she passed and she missed her 102nd birthday by about 2 months. She would have been 102.
Yeah.
I have so many lovely memories about my grandmother.
Memories.
And yeah, and I think probably some of my fondest things are when I go to stay with her. Um, well, when I go to stay with her, and she had this cute little apartment in Iowa, and I go visit her, and she's very self-determined, and I'd go stay with her. Oh, actually, I'll tell you this story. This is cute. So when I go stay with her in her apartment, I also had a girlfriend named Rita who would come. She was single, and we'd go out to eat at this famous pizza place in town. And we go to the pizza place, and Rita's, well, hopefully she won't see this, but she's not a really good driver. So whenever I'd go to town, Rita would give me the keys, like, here you go, you drive. So so I drove, which is only a few blocks away from my grandmother's apartment in downtown, in Marshalltown, Iowa. And I would drive there. We all drove there. I was driving back on the way home, just a few blocks, and I said, "Oh my gosh, I just realized that um, my license is suspended. I'm driving. I don't have a license to drive. What am I doing driving?" And I'm teasing, of course, and Rita's like looking like, and my grandmother was like, her eyes got really big, and 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 she was like, so anyway, she got really big, and I told Rita, I'm just kidding, And so the next day, Grandma didn't hear me say the I'm kidding part, and the next day we went to take my grandmother's car. She usually had me drive too. And we were going and running an errand. I said, "Grandma, do you want me to drive?" She says, "No, you lost your license. You're not driving my car." And and, and I was just, there'd be that, and then we when I go stay with her, we'd always sleep in the same bed, and it was always so sweet, And sometimes she'd be the little blanket hog, hog the covers in the middle of the night. And then one night I got up at 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I can see her in the kitchen, all of her lights are in the kitchen. I'm laying in bed looking at her. And she is 100 years old. And she's standing up on a stool, trying to reach some kind of glass container or something at the very top of her cupboard. And at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm thinking to myself, she could fall. She could fall. And it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Why is she trying to get something up there in the cupboard? But she was just so cute. And then one of the things she did too, right before she died, well, one of the last times I visited her was she was very, always had to look very prim and proper, her jewelry on, her makeup on, her lipstick, dressed nice. She always had to look nice. Well, she decided she wanted me to do her hair for her. And so I had never rolled the hair. So I'm sitting there trying to roll her hair up, and do it all up. And so finally she looked at me, and my nickname's Dee Dee there back home. And she's like, "Dee Dee, that's okay. Just give it to me. I'll take care of it." So there she is, 100 years old, sitting there putting all those little curlers in her hair, because apparently I wasn't doing it right, So she was just a very vain until the end, But yeah, she's
Yeah,
lovely.
so all those best memories, you know. And I supposed
Everybody
to
loved
ask you that
Rosie.
were you living with her? You have already answered that you're living with her. That's why
No,
you're so close.
I never lived with her. I would just visit.
Yeah.
So
Are
yeah,
you
but
the closest grandchild she has? She had?
no, well, she had several grandchildren. You know, I always I always like to claim that I was her favorite, but I think we probably all thought we were the favorites. So, it's probably something we all wanted to claim. So,
Because I feel
it's
you were. You were. You're so
well,
close to her.
I knew I was near and dear to her heart. One of the things she got to do is see my first book published before she passed. So I
Oh,
have a
she's
picture of her, holding the book. I think with her mask on, So, but in the nursing home. So she got to publish that. But I don't know that she read it a whole lot. Her roommate read the whole thing and loved it, but I don't know that grandma read it too much. But she was proud, of course.
she's very
And
proud of you.
yeah, she is.
Very, very proud of you. I know that. I can feel with your story.
Yeah,
Very
she was.
proud. So, did you ever regarding the your group, our group, let's say our group, the Passion of Poetry, did you plan that or it was all unplanned?
It was so unplanned. I had never dreamed of anything like this. It was somebody wasn't nice at me at a site. I'm gonna make my own site where people are nice kind of thing. And
Yeah.
it just developed into what it is.
I
And
can relate the feeling because all things that happened now to me also are all unplanned.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I never dreamed. If you would have told me that, actually when people start their own websites, now I say be careful unless that's what you want, because it can turn into that without you even knowing it. Because I think when it becomes so big, like, it takes a lot of people to run.
Yeah.
We've
It's
got like,
actually
yeah, we've
we
got a
have
whole,
over 14,000 members. Can you imagine that? And it will, of course, continue to grow. Did you ever expect it would grow this fast?
no, no. And we grow about 250 to 300 people a week usually. It's a lot of people, and it's been pretty consistent. So no, I never dreamed it would be. But no matter how big it gets, though, I want it to retain the hominess that it does. And I think that it's still, even though it's big, it still feels close knit and warm. So I don't ever want it to lose its warmth. It's really important to me for people to feel valued and so forth. And I
And
know,
people love
we,
you dearly. And
uh,
people love you dearly.
oh, well, I love them. So, I think we've got great members, and I've got a great team. I couldn't do without my admin team.
Yes,
So, yeah.
it's superb actually. Superb. Unexpected things that happen. How did you start it? Who were the people with you? Who were the admins with you? Because I was not from the start. You have just invited me lately.
Who have been the admins in the past that aren't there anymore? Or who are the admins now?
Who?
Who you want to know who my admins are now?
Yeah, because I'm asking if who were the people with you when you started.
Um, you mean as far as administrative staff?
Yeah, the administrators. That they are now
Um,
they are
it's funny
still
because I can't even remember her.
administrators.
Gregory Webb was one, but he's been gone for quite some time. So, the staff I have now has been, or the team has been there the longest, and I can usually do them by heart. I have, because I do it in order all the time. So I have Sofras, and then Io, and then I have Rita, and then I have Cy, and then I have Dennis and Williams
Dennis.
G. Yeah, Dennis, Williams G. And after Williams G is Eka. This is by order. And then there's Helen, you. And then after you, there's Rajashri. And after that, there's Eureka. And then
Yeah.
there's Ashraf. I know these by the order that they came. This is the sequence.
Yes. You can still memorize.
Yeah, so there's Ashraf, and then there's Jill, and there's Diraj Seth, and then
Guilty.
there's after him is Muishin, and
Diraj.
then after that, yeah, is Subhankar, Richard, and Timothy.
Richard is also a nice guy.
He is, but look at that. I have them all, and that's their sequence that they came. So it's
So I just really, appreciate you because you have a lot of patience to deal not only to the members but to the admins because you understand how busy are the admins also.
yeah.
So my goodness, sometimes I am shy why I cannot be on our chat group, but um,
Everybody has their own thing to do too, as well as I do, So
yeah.
there's sometimes that I'm stretched thin too and rely heavily on, but we somehow kind of pick up for each other and kind of make it happen.
But
So yeah.
people are dying to be an administrators. They promise that I will do my best just to be, just get me as an administrator. So just try to think how respected the group is.
Yeah, but
It's
I've
really
learned that you
vital.
have to learn, as I'm sure you have from your site, that you have to be very carefully select your team. You have to have the right balance, and and some people just really aren't maybe mature enough or ready for it to take it on yet. It's kind of
That's
it's a
true.
big role because it's kind of a management role, really, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So can you imagine you get sick because of too much dedication of your time? And it's not easy because you're focusing really to, you love the group and you love the members, and our health including me is compromised with our passion that sometimes we have just a little sleep at night. And I know many are advising you to get rest, enough rest. If you were to suggest, this is my question, if you were to suggest your own self, for example, you're in front of the mirror right now. What would you advise for Annette Tarpley?
Get plenty of rest.
Try to advise yourself.
I would advise myself that. My problem is this, that I feel like God made a flaw when he made the days, that the days should be 48 hours and we should only have to sleep 8. So I think he should have made it a little different, but don't tell him I said that. So I think that the thing is, I work full time and my new job is very, very time consuming. And then I work a part-time job too, once a month. And between that and then the passion of poetry pretty much takes up all the rest of my time. So I have uh, essentially no free time. I mean, I'm busy from the time I get up until the time I go to bed, but I usually can't sleep for very long anyway. I wish I could sleep longer, but my body just doesn't seem to want to lay down more than 4 or 5 hours, and I'm done. But I would like to sleep more. Talking about it's making me sleepy. So,
Yes, because when we love our work, even we're sleepy, we forget that we are sleepy.
yeah. And I really need it. Today, when we were waiting for this, I had taken a little 40-minute nap, and what happens if I don't get proper sleep? It's not good mentally and intellectually. So I almost get into a delirious mode, probably from lack of REM sleep. And yeah, so it's actually, I feel better when I rest more. But um, but I think I'll strive for that. Maybe that will be my New Year's resolution for the coming
You start
year.
it now. You start
I'm
it
gonna
now.
start now. I'm gonna get
Practice
more
it
rest.
now.
Yep.
Yeah, we have not only you, me too, and other, other founders of their groups. We need also to think for ourselves. We need to think that we need to take care of our health, because if we want to inspire more people, we need to live longer too.
Yeah, yeah. And it's probably why I have such a big admin team, because it's too much for me. And I need to give up the responsibility. So
But it's just lovely
I'm
that,
sorry, I have a tickle in my throat. I'm sorry.
it's just lovely that we are into it. We are gifted in this way. So we are so lucky, and we have to be grateful.
Yeah, I mean, I have so much as you do to be grateful for. And
That's the best
God,
thing, I think,
God
to
is
do.
good, and He's blessed
God.
me many times over. So I think that, and if I can bless people in return somehow, that's always a good thing too, as well, as you know. So
Because you are so, your members and other friends, you have really have their, care for you, their love for you, and please try to listen all their advices too, because we only live
yeah,
once.
yes, yes, I have a very caring team. They probably, as you know, they watch over me, and always encourage me to get rest. So
I'm thinking of
so
that too. I'm thinking for myself too, because just gradually, let's make things one at a time. So if you I'm giving you the chance, if you want to promote our book anthology book, you can promote it here, what you want to say. It will be soon, maybe in the first month of 2022. So
yeah.
your message also to your members, to our members of the passion of poetry, that's very important, because I know it will be, viewed by many, because I am interviewing a certain Annette Tarpley.
Oh, well,
All are interested to watch this.
I'm just a little on me. Well, the passion of poetry, yes. So I don't know if you can see the cover. That's what the cover looks like.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, I
You
can
can't
see
really
that.
see. It does not come up good on the computer at all right now. There, it's a little
Very
bit better on the
nice, and I
angle.
love the colors too.
Yeah, and
The
that is
combination.
done by Raja Shri, and she did the artwork. But it will feature over 120 some people internationally around the
He
globe,
is
and so
so
I'm very,
sweet, lovely.
yeah, I'm so excited about it. And it won't be too much longer. I have just a few things I need to get done on it yet, which I should be able to rectify soon, and it should be able to be published after the first of the year. And so I'm getting very excited about that. Yeah. So it'll
Me
be the
too.
first one.
We are
Okay.
all excited. And it will not just be the first anthology we're going to do, right?
Well, hopefully not, but I can tell you that probably won't be ready to do one in 6 months, because it was quite an undertaking.
So,
So
you know, it should not, we have to schedule it after 6 months or even a year, because we need to rest
maybe
also.
an annual thing. I think probably an
It could
annual
be
thing.
annual. It could be
Yeah.
annual.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that's it. So thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that you're here, and it's my great pleasure to have you in this show. I love this,
Um,
conversation so much. And
well, it's been a pleasure, and you know how endearing you are to me, and I love you to pieces, Helen. You're a wonderful woman, and you inspire me. So
Thank you
thank you
for that.
very much.
We're just inspiring each other. But before we close, you're not asking me to read my poems also.
Please, would you read your poem? Would you read some poems for me,
I'm
Helen?
preparing here actually. I need also to read so that
Yes,
our viewers will be more entertained.
please do. Please do.
It's my turn.
Yes, it is.
Actually, okay, I'll try. It's an old poems because it's in my book.
Yay.
Speaking Heart, Volume 1. It's about time. It's actually, Deborah. I introduced her to you. You paint my face a smile. Peaceful silence on the air. I savored while meditating. Heartily talking you in depth. You listen my soul who is imperfect. I refresh myself in faith and I worship. In the shaking situation I face, I ask your help. So when I wrote this one, maybe in I was in a shaking situation. Heavy
Right.
trial came my way unexpectedly. It needs a lot of courage and humility. As things drifted my mind at night, I tried to examine myself and give insight. I was feeling empty and helpless, but I need to move on out of nothingness. I have to fight to win the battle for the welfare of everyone and all. I know that it will just pass over. In my every prayer, you give me an answer. You are giving me comfort and care. You are alive. You are just there. As I am solving things one at a time, you give me hope and sunshine. You are a helping and caring father with so much unconditional love to share. And behind the visit of this horrifying crisis, I thank you for painting my face a smile. So that's it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, because in every situation that is very difficult, our measures and everything, um, there's a hope because God is watching us. We can still paint our face a smile because we trust that it will be
Beautiful.
so.
Right.
So
Trust is a good thing. Sometimes it's hard for us to do that, though, isn't it? They say that if you ask something of God, that you should not question it. You should just trust that He'll do the right thing. So very often, I think we forget to do that. So yeah.
yeah, I think it's 10-year-old poem. And lastly, I will read because I haven't read this in many events. Actually, Sushmita Rose is my my daughter who passed away before she got 2 months old. So 2 months old, she passed away. So I remember because um, you know, it's in the next page.
How long ago was that?
Yeah, you are
How long?
supposed to be a young pretty lady because the gap of my daughter now, who is a nurse, uh, we have only 1 year gap. So she's actually older. So you are supposed to be a young pretty lady, maybe so sweet, intelligent, and lovely. I am so much longing for you, baby. My angel, I am very, very much sorry. Now that you are drifting into my mind, succumb my thoughts, I can't help but cry. If those days I was just strong enough, my angel, you are supposed to be with us. When you left us, you were just an infant. To see the world, you were not given a chance. My griefs and sorrows so much affected you. When you were in my womb, you suffered too. You may be flying and drop on tip of the bushes. You may be now with the silent air I breathe, comforting me with your focus and loving stare. I can smell your heavenly shadow on the air. That's it. She's my angel.
That's beautiful. Lovely,
Sad.
lovely.
It's sad, but it's my
Was it
tribute for her.
therapeutic? Was it therapeutic for you to write it? Did it help?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
sometimes our experiences, sad experiences, sacrifices will bring us to places also. I cannot imagine myself that I will be talking to you right now.
Well, I can't imagine I would be talking to you and you'd have me on your show. So there you go. So,
So
yeah, it's
that's
always a
it.
delight. It's always a delight, dear Helen. Always a delight.
Thank you
You're
so
such
much.
a
Thank you.
wonderful person and um, always will be. So you're just you're marvelous, darling. Simply marvelous. So
I know, and I can feel your love. I can feel
yeah,
your love. So I do love you too. And
you'll always
thank you
have it.
so much. Thank you so much for this great day. You made my morning here, and I know it's your 11 o'clock. I'm sorry, it's almost midnight. Sorry for that. Okay, thank you, dear Annette, and I am
Thank
happy
you.
again and
Love
again.
you,
Thank you.
darling.
Bye,
Take
bye. God
care.
bless you and your family.
God bless you
Also
too.
the
Bye
Pa
bye.
family.